Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome to the fall floor reset. Come on in and join me in my kitchen. I'm Erin Bartley. I'm a Norwex leader in Clifton Forge, Virginia. And I'm gonna see if I can start the comments and see if I can find other people who are out here watching. Hello, I can see Becca is here. If you're here, say hello, and then maybe I can be able to see the comments. My hope is that I'll be able to see questions, see comments, and be able to interact with people live. I see that Jennifer is here. Welcome, you guys. So this is the fall floor reset. I'm super excited to give this presentation because I feel like deep cleaning floors with the Norwex mop system is kind of like a superpower for me within Norwex. I've done a lot of it. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So come on in, please say hello. I still can't see comments. I'm still waiting. I would like to see the comments. I would like to be able to see people's questions and see people's comments. So hopefully they'll start popping up here. Oh, here we go. All right, I can see Brandy. Okay, Brandy says hello. I saw her comment. All right. Oh, Glenna. Okay, now I can start seeing them. It just takes a minute for Facebook to catch up. Okay, the fall floor reset, deep clean any floor. I am super excited to talk about this subject. You guys are going to be amazed after you get through this. A lot of you are experienced consultants. If you want to comment below and let me know if you're a consultant or a guest. Hi, Kathy from St. Louis. Hi, Deb. So I know that everyone is going to learn something, and you guys might have a tip that you can share in the comments if I don't share your tip. So think about like what's the best mop tip that you have, and I want you to save it and share it at the end and let me know if I missed your mop tip. But I also want folks to share, as soon as you hear something you haven't heard before, I want you to share it and let me know that you learned something new. So every time I do this demo about the mop and the mop system and everything that the mop can do, people are just like, what in the world? The mop isn't just something that cleans floors with Norwex. It's really like a whole home cleaning system. So you can clean floors, walls, ceilings, windows, fans, light fixtures, kitchen cabinets, moldings, hard to reach high banisters. And most recently, I used it to clean the bus windshield of the activity bus that I drove. So I coach, and sometimes I have to drive the activity bus, and people do not keep those bus windshields clean. I had to use our mop system to clean the bus windshield. It made it like really, really easy. So it's really a whole home cleaning system. It makes many, many, many tough jobs super, super easy. So tonight isn't just about how to really clean your floor. It isn't just about cleaning floors. It's about what to do when your normal routine just isn't cutting it anymore. We're going to talk specifically about why would my floor look streaky even after I mop it? Why would my floor feel sticky? What if my floor is feeling sticky? How do I clean baseboards? What do I do with dirty grout? And what if I've let my floors go a little too long? What do I do then? So what if they need like you've ignored that chore for a long time and they need a really deep cleaning? So those are the things that we're going to talk about tonight. And I definitely have notes because there was a lot I wanted to talk about. So we're going to start with just the basics, like the everyday chores. And we're going to start with the dry mop pad. Norwex has lots of choices. What I'm going to tell you is, and three major choices, which is a Chanel dry mop pad, the standard dry mop pad, and then the duster mop pad. And I'm just going to tell you that you're not going to go wrong with any of the mop pads. You're going to be super happy with whichever ones you choose. This one, this is mainly for like fine dust and pollen, but this is the one I use most of the time. I like this mop pad. So I use this most of the time. But for years and years and years, this is the mop pad that I use because it was the only option and it works great. This is the standard mop pad, the dry pad that comes with every mop. Or you might go with the Chanel mop pad. This is super great at picking up tons of pet hair and bigger debris. So you can pick and choose which dry mop pad you prefer. Maybe you guys can comment in the comments which one you prefer and why you prefer that one. I don't think you're going to go wrong with any of these mop pads. You're going to want to start with the dry mop pad on your floor. So when you go to mop, when you go to deep clean your floor, you're going to start with a good dry mopping, because the dry mop pad is going to pick up all of the dust, all of the hair, dirt, and debris. And if you mop over dirt and hair, you're just going to be pushing it around. And also, dirt sometimes can act like sandpaper to your floor and scratch your floor up, especially if you have high shine and maybe floors that are prone to scratching. You don't want to do that. So you want to pick up all of the dust, and this will pick up a ton, dust and debris first with your dry pad. Okay, this can also be used on your walls, ceilings. You can use this on your cabinets. You can use the dry pad on your cabinets. You don't have to use a wet pad on your cabinets. A dry pad will actually do quite a good job. So after you go through and you pick everything up off of the surface, and this is filthy dirty, you're going to want to use your rubber brush to just brush it off into the trash. That's all you have to do. And then you can hang this up and use it again and again and again. You don't have to toss this in the wash after one use. Now, if you are going to use this on your walls or on your ceiling or on your cabinets, then you're going to want to lock the head. And I'm going to show you why. So this flips all the way around. It has like a full range of motion if it's not locked. But then when it's locked, it doesn't move back and forth. So you'll be able to easily press it up against a flat surface. I'll show you guys right now. So if it's locked, it makes it very easy to get it up against a flat surface and dust that surface. Okay? And you could use the dry pad on your cabinets. You could use a damp mop pad on your cabinets. You could use either one. So either one is going to clean. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. All right? The other, I want to cover this. I'm going to cover more about baseboards later, but while I've got my dry pad on here, baseboards for like everyday sweeping. So when you're going around and sweeping your floor with your dry mop pad, you want to offset it on the base like this. See, with the end hanging over, and that's so you can press this end up against the baseboard, and that way you can get your baseboards at the same time that you're just doing your regular sweeping. So you want to offset it and then press this right up against your baseboard. So pretend my hand is the baseboard, and that will clean your baseboards. You can also flip your mop up and go, if you have like really wide baseboards, and just go along your baseboards with your mop like this. Either way is going to work. So it does an amazing job. You would be surprised. Okay, next, switch the mop pads just by Velcro, right? Super easy. Next, let's talk about the wet pad. So after you finish your sweeping with your dry pad, you just want to press your wet pad onto your mop base. And I will tell you that I've only went through 2 sets of wet pads in the 10 years that I've been a consultant. Another option for a wet pad would be a tile pad. This is a tile pad, and it has these polyester, like rough, more plastic feeling fibers in it. So it's like for more, to get into like those grooves and that texture that might be on a floor. So I like this in my bathrooms. And I have the small one. This is the small size. This is what a large mop pad looks like. This is what a small mop pad looks like. So I have the small size because I use the small size in my bathrooms. That's the size I like to use in my bathroom. So, and you don't have to have a second mop, right? You don't have to have a second mop. You just buy a different size mop base. So the handle fits all of the bases. I lost all of the comments. Dang it. Oh well. I'll go back through, and as people are asking questions or whatever, then I'll just answer them after I finish the live. Okay, so your wet mop pad, it's on your mop. Now, this is the thing, more water is not better. All right, the microfiber does the cleaning. You do not want to have this dripping wet. You just want to get it damp. You want to wring it out well, or just use a spray bottle and spritz water, or if you have the spray mop attachment, you know, you can spritz water with your spray mop attachment and mop. You don't need a lot of water. Less water is better. And I'm going to show you guys, my mop pad is not not that wet at all. And I will show you, I'll do a really quick demo with Hershey syrup, because people think that just microfiber and water, there's no way it could clean up a sticky mess. So let me see, I wanna make sure you guys can see. I think I have to go like out here. There we go. Can you guys see the syrup over there? I think you can. So it picks it up really easily. Like 2 swipes. There's all of the syrup on my mop. Now what's really cool is that it won't put the syrup back down on my floor. It doesn't put it back down on there. So if I continue to mop, it's not smearing brown syrup right back over my floor. So it holds on to all of it, which is really cool. So wet mop pad or tile mop pad, water, or if your floors are very dirty and you feel like you need more, you could use our multi-purpose cleaner. It used to be the probiotic hard surface cleaner. So I have probiotic on my little label, but it's our multi-purpose cleaner. You can use this. It has enzymes that clean the surface, continue to clean the surface for up to 7 days after it's applied. So you could use this to break down heavy soils more effectively, or you can use one of my tried and true Ultra Power Plus UPP Ultra Power Plus mix. It's 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces of water, so 2 teaspoons in a Forever bottle. So if you have something that's really, really, really dirty, something that you're really trying to clean or that won't come up, then just use the multi-purpose cleaner or just use diluted Ultra Power Plus. Just have these mixed up in your Forever bottles so they're just easy to grab out of your cabinet. I mean, these are 2 things, and especially the multi-purpose cleaner, you know, this is something you can use everywhere. I can use it on my cabinets, my granite, my stainless, my floors. So this is something you want to keep mixed up and have handy at all times. Okay, so the wet mop pad, only lightly damp. The microfiber does the cleaning. It's good on all hard surfaces, So laminate, tile, hardwood, engineered wood, whatever you've got, it's going to work on it. I think there's nothing better than the Norwex mop on any type of floor. Yes, Laura agrees the multi-purpose cleaner is great. It is. It can be used on all surfaces and it leaves a high shine. So if you're someone who's like a perfectionist cleaner, do we have any perfectionist cleaners? If you're someone who really is like a perfectionist cleaner, then you're gonna love the multi-purpose cleaner. You're gonna love how it leaves your granite super shiny. You can see into next Tuesday after you clean your granite with the multi-purpose cleaner on your stainless, on your floors. If you have high shine floors, you're really gonna love what that does for you. Okay, I talked about the walking mop head. Oh, one last thing I forgot to talk about on the telescopic mop handle is that this rubber ball on the end, this can be used to rub out scuff marks on your floor. Okay, so that's another addition. Okay, let's talk about places that we dread to clean on our floors. Number 1, baseboards. So if you haven't cleaned your baseboards in a long time and you have a ton of pets and a lot of hair, you're gonna want to sweep your baseboards first with a stiff brush. And I learned this from a cleaning lady one time. So the grout brush attachment, and there's like little hairs, there's little hairs. I use this thing for everything. So sweep your baseboards off first. Get the chunks off of your baseboards first. And a stiff brush is gonna do it. And our grout brush attachment is the perfect thing for baseboards. If your baseboards are super, super dirty, then you might have to, so then I would recommend picking everything up with a dusting mitt, which I forgot to bring my dusting mitt down here. But if they're super dirty, then you're probably gonna have to do the hands and knees type of thing. Use the brush, use the dusting mitt, use a vacuum, whatever, get all of the big stuff up. But this will get whatever stuck, if you have heavy debris stuck to your baseboards. And I'm just telling you, like, this happens to people, okay? This happens. If you have heavy buildup on your baseboards because you have a lot of pets, this is what you're going to want to use to knock all that off before you do anything. You want to get all of that stuff off first. And then I wouldn't actually use my EnviroCloth to clean my baseboards. I would want to use something that has more of a scratch to the surface. So I would want to use an Enviro sponge, or my personal preference, Enviro scrub. And this is what I would want to use to scrub and then wipe my baseboards if I was doing them by hand. Now, once you get them clean and they're relatively clean, they're really easy to maintain, either with the method that I showed you with the dry pad, where you press the dry pad up against your baseboards, or an Enviro wand, right? So an Enviro wand, you can just use it holding it and go along your baseboards and dust your baseboards while you're standing. Like, you don't even have to bend down. You can go along under your cabinets, all of this stuff. Crazy stuff gets up under there. So, but you can go along underneath without even having to bend over. You can go along your baseboards. This works really well. So you can go crazy cleaning your baseboards with your Enviro wand. It works great. You can attach it to the mop handle, but I think it's long enough just with this handle. I think it's long enough. But if you want it on the mop handle for more reach, you definitely could. You definitely could. Sometimes I've used this to clean under my bed too. I felt like this worked better to clean under my bed than just the dry mop pad. Okay? Does that make sense? Has anybody used their Enviro wand to clean their baseboards? Okay. Next, grout. Okay. This is the other forgotten about thing to clean. And this is so easy with Norwex. If you have grout, you must have this grout brush. And even if you don't have grout, you must have this grout brush. So I actually don't have any grout. I have all laminate, but I use this to deep clean my floors. So I'll get to that in my last section about when your floors are really dirty. But for grout, you want to choose one of two things. These are the two things I think are best for grout. Either the hard surface cleaner, that's in this bottle. Like, you buy this and you dilute it. You want this multi-purpose cleaner. I keep calling it hard surface because that's what it was. You want this multi-purpose cleaner and put it into a spray bottle, or you want to dilute your Ultra Power Plus, put it in a spray bottle, spray it directly onto your grout lines, and scrub. These I think I've had this 2 years now. Not any worse for wear. Other grout brushes have less durable bristles. This is extremely durable, fits to the mop handle, makes so much sense. You'll be surprised what comes out of your grout. Your grout will be a totally different color. And then once you scrub that grout and all that disgustingness comes up, then you just want to go over it with your wet pad. I would prefer a tile pad, to be honest with you. So I would want to go over it with a tile pad, but your wet pad would probably be fine. Or depending on how much comes up, you might have to kind of go over it by hand and get most of that disgustingness up. So if you clean your tile with this brush, you're going to be so thrilled with the results. And this also can be purchased with a shorter handle so that you can do tile in your shower. You can use this in your tub, in surrounds. This is a great all-purpose brush for all kinds of places. Save my grout with a grout brush and Ultra Power Plus. I use the wand once a week on baseboards and it works great. You guys heard it from Linda. Linda just said it worked for her. So, truth. Okay, grout. That is as easy as it gets. Just get this. You'll be so happy that you did. Okay? All right, now let's talk about troubleshooting. What time? Okay, I got a few minutes left. Troubleshooting. Why does my floor look like that? So we're going to go through some problems, and you guys can, if you have some questions about some problems for your floors, definitely put them in the comments and we'll go over them. So number one, streaky floors. So there's a few reasons why you might have streaky floors. The most common reason is that you're using too much product. So you're using too much of the multi-purpose cleaner, you're using too much Ultra Power Plus, or you use some sort of cleaner that created a nasty buildup on your floors, and you're going to have to mop them with microfiber and water and then deep clean your mop pad. Mop them with your mop pad, deep clean your mop pad. That is the truth of what is going to have to happen. Residue from previous floor cleaners is the number one culprit. Well, number two culprit. Number one, using too much product. Number two, using a previous product that has built up. So you need to, the number 3 reason would be that you continue mopping with a saturated, a too wet, and very dirty mop pad. So your mop pads, you got to take care of them. They need to be deep cleaned. I'll briefly go over deep cleaning your mop pads, but you should reach out to your consultant for some help on that. Really, they just need to be tossed in a sink, and you can either use Ultra Power Plus or preferably one of our microfiber deep cleaners. Pour very, very hot water, if not, water that was boiling on the stove, pour it over your mop pads, add some sort of Ultra Power Plus or deep cleaner, let them soak until the water completely cools, and then wash them as usual and use them. Now, if you use the liquid deep cleaner, you don't use super hot water. You need to follow the instructions on the deep cleaner that you have and that you purchase. But deep cleaning your mop pads, especially if you purchase the mop system after you've already been using something like Bona or Pine Sol or something that applies like a wax to your floor, then you're going to need to deep clean your mop pads because they're going to stick. You're probably going to have problems with your mop flipping and sticking, and that's because your floor needs deep cleaned. It is coated in something. Does that make sense? So the other thing is some floors are just prone to streaking and they're really hard to get clean. You're going to have to go over them. You don't want to use the least amount of water possible. And then you're going to want to finish them you want to dry your floors with a window mop pad. So I use this for windows. I have high windows in my home, so I use this with my mop to clean windows. I clean my windows with a wet mop first and then go over and dry them with this. But you can use this to dry your floors. So if you have like really shiny tile floors, or if you have high shine dark wood floors that show everything, you might want to go over them with a window pad. It might be the thing that changes your life. Okay, so that covers streaky floors. Too much product, really dirty mop pads. So you really need to deep clean. If your floors are streaking, you need to deep clean your microfiber. Keep going over your floors with just microfiber and water, and then maybe try a window pad on your floors. All right, sticky floors. Sticky floors are from product buildup, grease buildup, especially in the kitchen, too much cleaning solution. So what do you need to do? You need to do a residue test in a small section. So in wherever, if your whole floor is sticky, then you need to just clean one small section with just microfiber and water and keep going over it and see if the stick lifts. And if it does, then you know that it's something it's not caused by the microfiber and water mop, it's caused by whatever was on the floor before. So test a small section first and see, can you get it clean with just the mop and water, and then repeat that process all over your floor. So a clean floor doesn't need a bunch of chemicals or fragrance added. A clean floor has nothing on it. That's the basis of clean. So a clean floor has nothing on it, and your microfiber pad and water is going to do that. If you have something, like I said, that is super built up on the floor, then you might use, my first go-to is always Ultra Power Plus that is diluted to get something heavy off of a floor. For general cleaning, I use my multi-purpose cleaner, but for like really something disgusting or dirty buildup, then Ultra Power Plus, I mean, I've been a consultant for 10 years. It's just like the tried and true product for tough messes. Okay, that's sticky floors. So we got streaky, sticky, we did dirty grout, and now what if you let your floor go forever and ever and ever? So when I moved into this house, this was rented as an Airbnb, and so the floors were not clean. I mean, they were superficially clean, but this is a textured laminate, and so there was actually, you could see like the dirt was ground into the texture of the laminate. Does anybody else have laminate that's like that, where dirt gets ground into the texture of the actual laminate flooring? So you're going to want to do all the steps that we talked about in the beginning, where you dry mop really well, you get all the loose debris up first, and then what I would recommend is that you work in sections, and that's what I did. Like, you would want to section your floor and you would work in small sections. And the first thing I would start with is spraying a section down with diluted Ultra Power Plus. Or if you have it, the multi-purpose cleaner would be fine too, but most people already own Ultra Power Plus, so that's why I'm leaning into that. But either one would work fine. And then I would be using my grout brush, even though I don't have grout, this is a great scrub brush to scrub, to scrub each section. So I would use my brush to scrub each section. Another option, if you don't have this brush, although I don't think this is quite as good, especially for laminate, like you really need these stiff brushes. This is a good scrubbing brush too. This is really, and I use this in my garage. When I deep clean my garage floor, this is what I used. I scrubbed my floor with this rubber brush, and I took a bucket of diluted Ultra Power Plus and just threw the whole bucket on my garage floor. Of course, you don't want to throw a whole bucket of water on your kitchen floor, but on your garage floor, you know, you could definitely do that. So I just threw up like a whole bucket of water and Ultra Power Plus, and I just scrubbed my whole garage floor with this brush, the rubber broom. This is a great cleaning brush. So you could also use this to scrub floors as well. Either one would be great for scrubbing. I did use this on my garage, but I use this on my bathrooms. And you're really gonna wanna work section by section. And then once you scrub everything, you're gonna wanna go over it with the wet mop pad. Okay, so you're gonna wanna grab your regular mop. Mine's over here. You're gonna wanna grab your regular mop and then mop with your wet mop pad over everything that you scrubbed really well, section by section. And that's how you can resolve a really filthy floor and it not be overwhelming. Just work on one section at a time. All right, let me think about what I missed. I did not talk about, I have it sitting here. I did want to mention the dustpan. Oh, I know what I forgot to show you guys. The new rubber brush clips to the mop. I love this. So you can buy this rubber brush separately, just like this, and I love that it sticks to the mop. And I love how thoroughly this cleans my mop pad. It's very wide with thick bristles. I love how it works. I love that it has a squeegee on it, and I love how well it works with the dustpan. So I use this a lot more than what I ever thought. I love that it has this ribbing on the side where you can clean off the brush over your trash can, and that all of it together can easily fit right onto your mop handle and for storage. I think this makes a lot of sense. But you can buy this new rubber brush by itself if you want that item. It just fits nice and snugly, just like that. The other thing I wanted to show you guys, I've got 2 minutes left. I want to wrap up right at 8:30. I wanted to show, here we go. I wanted to show you this fancy guy. Who's seen this? Who's seen this little guy? Who knows what this is? It's the Kids Mop. The Kids Mop is back. It was discontinued shortly after I joined as a consultant back in 2016, and it has not been around since then. So it took 10 years for a Kids Mop to come back. It comes with this dry mop head attachment, and it works. This is microfiber. It's a cute little bear, and he just attaches with Velcro all the way around like this. Oh, it has a orange base. It's very colorful, just like that. It's stuck on with Velcro. This is the same size as the small mop, but this is the kids. Oh, wait, I'm going the wrong way. This is the Kids Mop. Is this not super cute? The handle is very adjustable, just like our regular mop system. You can even attach an Enviro wand to the smaller handle, and they could use an Enviro wand as well. And this is the same thing as our standard, same handle as our standard mop, just obviously smaller for a child. Yes. Super, super, super cute. Now, this doesn't have all the functions, of course, as the adult mop, because this is a kid's mop. It's not intended to be used with other pads other than the pad that comes with it. I'm just going to tell you that. And it doesn't lock. You know, the base doesn't lock, so it doesn't have all the functions of an adult mop, which it shouldn't. This is a kid's mop. So, but it will work. Whatever they rub this up against, okay, is going to get somewhat cleaned because this is Norwex microfiber on the mop pad. Okay, so you guys, those are my floor reset hacks for deep cleaning and resetting your floors this fall. I want to know, did I miss a hack? Did I miss a mop floor hack that you know that I didn't cover? And was there anything that you learned that you didn't know? So you want to make sure that you comment, well, not comment, well, you can comment, but you need to message your consultant and ask them for this month's tip sheet that has more tips and more hacks, including how to make your own homemade vanilla, some quick breakfast, pre-made breakfast ideas, how to preserve your herbs over the summer. So there's some really great other hacks, but it has a lot of the stuff that I covered tonight on the mop as a great reminder. So make sure you get the tip sheet from your consultant. And just to recap, the big thing I want you guys to take away is that everyday maintenance of just dry mopping and wet mopping with your Norwex mop system, literally 10 minutes. I bet you could set a timer for 10 minutes and you would be done. You could sweep your floors every single day, twice a day, and you would have it done in less than 15 minutes. I guarantee you, I think you could do it like in 7 minutes. You could do a quick run through. If you touched your mop every single day and did a little bit of mopping every day, what kind of change would that make in your floors? It would make it so much easier. So do daily maintenance. The Norwex mop system makes it easy for daily maintenance. Get those baseboards with your dry pad. It makes it so much easier. Cleaning baseboards wasn't even anything that I did before Norwex existed. Streaks and stickiness. Use less product. Make sure that you're just going over the surface with your microfiber, and make sure that you're deep cleaning your mop pads. Take care of your microfiber. It will last you for years. I still have my original pads from 10 years ago. So if you take care of it, it's going to last you a long time. Make sure that you are washing and deep cleaning your mop pads. And then if you let your floors go, don't worry. Just work section by section, deep cleaning each section a little bit at a time. And before you know it, your floors will be back to sparkling clean. Yes. Okay, Mary says, I need to get the grout brush. The wand cleans the top of the fridge, the range hood. Yes, it does all of that, Sally. It does all of that. Will the grout brush scratch any surfaces? Well, I wouldn't think that it would. They are stiff bristles. I guess if you're concerned that you have floors that could scratch that easily, then you should probably test a small area, an inconspicuous area first. Because they are stiff, but I couldn't imagine them scratching a floor like any more than walking on it or your pets walking on it. I can't believe it would do any more than that. But it is intended for grout. So I use it for an unintended purpose, which is scrubbing my laminate floors. So if you're using it outside of its normal purposes, then yes, you should always test a small area first. That goes, for any area of your home where you're using a cleaner that you've never used before. You should always test a small area first. Even with Norwex, even though our products are safe, they are powerful and super effective. And of course, a surface could be damaged if it comes in contact with something that's not normally used on. Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap this up because it's 8:33, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I believe the Norwex mop system can be a total game changer for your home, and especially if you utilize all of the tools. I didn't even cover all of them. All of the tools that you can use with your mop system. It's really a whole home cleaning system, not just a mop system. So thank you guys for being here tonight and spending your time with me. Your time is your most valuable asset, and never take it for granted that you choose to spend your time with us. And we will see you next month in September for our next hacks class. Thanks for being here. Bye.